So this, if you can see, this is my actual crystal ball. And this one actually does foretell the future. You probably can't see it, but it says etched here across the front, "The best is yet to be." And it's light glass and has a blue feather inside of it. It's a Hallmark ornament. And my wife and I did not buy this ornament in some fit of holiday optimism. In fact, we bought it during the height of our struggles with infertility, when it was unclear whether or not we would ever have another child of our own. Depression was creeping up on us like floodwaters lapping at the doorstep, and the best is yet to be. That became our battle cry. That became our mantra. It was our declaration that we would push on no matter what obstacles fate put in our way. It was an irrational defiance that would hold us above those floodwaters. And while such hope is potent, the thin glass and the delicate feather were a reminder that hope is also fragile and precious, and something we must hold with attention and care. But this was never meant to be a prediction about the future. We knew we were dealing with forces very much beyond our control, and our outcome was never certain. Failure always a possibility, and the idea that the best is yet to be was not a bet on the benevolence of the universe. It was a declaration of how we wanted to live our lives. So when I say the future is good, I don't mean my future. I don't mean yours either, sorry. Nor our country, nor humanity, nor the planet. I'm not a prophet, and the future is always a mystery. Also, the universe moves through cycles, birth and death, gain and loss, creation and destruction. The future will also contain great suffering because it always does. So the future is good is not a prediction, it's a commitment. It's a decision to embrace hope, possibility, and courage regardless of circumstances. Because honestly, such an attitude is the only way we ever overcome the troubles that face us. I'm not optimistic because I believe things are just going to get better. Rather, choosing to be optimistic here and now, that's what makes a better future possible. Our ability to imagine a world that doesn't yet exist and then put in the effort and make it real, that's what makes our species unique. It's truly that creativity is at the core of our humanity. We are the hands of creation. I used to work out at Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories, and we'd get these Friday lunch talks from the founder, Ed Schweitzer. And he was very fond of saying that the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And I think he was onto something there. The future is not something out there that just sort of happens to us. It's something we create, and it's a product of our minds. What we are thinking, we are becoming. What we dream, we start to make real. Every human accomplishment through all of history began in somebody's imagination, and every atrocity as well. The point is, we don't just exist in the world, we define it, and the future is just as good or just as bad as we're willing to dream it. The danger is this: whatever we imagine, we start to manifest whether we intend it or not. In some sense, every prophecy is self-fulfilling. If we believe in a dark and dismal future, we'll start to unconsciously act in ways to bring it about. We'll build walls. We'll adopt an attitude of scarcity, hunker down, isolate, turn away from the world with all its scary threats and shadowy enemies, and little by little create that very future we feared. But so too if we believe in a better future. We'll start to act in ways that bring that about by connecting with neighbors, building community, investing in long-term solutions, and living with an attitude of abundance and personality, a possibility that will ultimately bring about that future we dream of. So by choosing hope, we move towards outcomes that actually justify having been hopeful in the first place. As I wrote in one of my previous sermons on this topic, hope isn't waiting for a better future, it's the first step in creating one. But I want to clarify that I'm not really talking about progress either, which tends to put our joy and our wholeness and our success off into some indeterminate someday. The future is good because the present is good. Believing that the future is good makes the here and now a place of hope and possibility. The dream of a garden transforms barren dirt into a thing full of potential. Dreams of prosperity can bring meaning to the drudgery of work. The dream of a place where everyone can feel welcome, well, that brought us this church. Dreams of a better future ennoble the present and give even the mundane deeper meaning. So our attitude about the future, it determines the kind of future that we're going to get, but it also defines our experience of the present. After all that dread we feel when we read the news, it's not usually about something bad actually happening to us right now. It's fears about what might happen in the future. But if we can keep faith in a world defined by compassion and justice, by truth and beauty, we can experience today's scandals and atrocities not as harbingers of all the bad things to come, but just aberrations from the better world that is coming and that is inevitable because we refuse to give up on it. So how many of you know the parable of the waves? I know this is not the first sermon I've used it in, so you might have heard this one before, but it's an old Buddhist tale about the nature of death, and goes kind of like this. One day, a wave was moving happily across the face of the ocean, dancing, glittering in the sun, not a care in the world. Everything was good. But then she looked ahead to the future and saw something so dreadful. Off in the distance, the other waves, just like her, well, they were slamming into the coastline. They were shattering, and they were dissolving into nothingness. Well, she panicked, obviously. She shouted to her neighbors, "Stop, we have to go back, we're all going to die." But the wave next to her smiled calmly and said, "Just relax. You can't die. You're not really a wave. You are part of the ocean." Now, I tell this story today because the future always looks frightening if you feel isolated and if you think you're an individual. Fortunately, you're not. You never were. You're part of a community. You're part of a human family. You're part of the web of life. Each of us is but the shape that the immortal universe has taken in this particular time and place, and eventually will return to take new shapes. Just like the cells of our bodies live, grow, and die forever oblivious to the higher reality they make possible. So even when our personal futures seem bleak, we remain part of something greater that will grow and thrive and persist long beyond our very brief lives. So if all of this sounds kind of flowery and naive, if you're still doubtful about the goodness of the future, I'd invite you to spend some time with it. Now, I frequently volunteer for the RE programs here at the church. I teach our OWL sexuality courses to teenagers. Recently, I was a chaperone to a group of 150 8th graders at Silverwood Theme Park. I'll admit that one was a little scary. Just last night, we had a slumber party at our house with 6 or 7 of my daughter's friends. And later this summer, I'm volunteering as a counselor at a UU summer camp. And I do these things not just to be a good dad, but because nothing makes me more hopeful about the future than spending time with today's young people. Just as an example, this slumber party that happened at my home last night, one of my daughter's friends, her home recently burned down. And as soon as that happened, Alora and all her friends, they've met up online, they just leaped into action. They planned this whole party to help their friend feel better. They got presents, they figured out snacks and activities, and just did everything they could to wrap around their hurting friend and let her know she was loved. And that just, it's not an aberration. Like, this generation is just like that. And it just warms my heart so much to see it. In fact, just to put the icing on the cake, they not only came to our house and camped out, but one of them brought all the makings for dinner and made tacos for all of us. A different one made us pancakes this morning for breakfast. These are such good kids, and these are 13-year-olds. I can't say enough good things about this generation. They're creative, they're compassionate, they're funny, and they're intelligent. They're kind, and they care so deeply. And they're full of dreams for a more just and beautiful world, and they are willing to do the work to make it happen. And if the news tells you otherwise, that's just BS. The way everything in the news is BS. The kids are all right, But they do need our support just as much as we need their energy, their enthusiasm, their creativity, and their color. So the next time the future feels ominous to you, I'd really invite you to find a way to show up for our youth, not just for their sake, but for yours as well. Now, here at the UUCP, we frequently like to say that love is at the center. Well, what is love but a deep commitment to the future? When we love our children or our spouses or our friends, isn't that just a commitment to their future well-being? When we love our homes or our country, our favorite team or a natural landscape, love means giving our time and our energy and our very lives to ensure that the things we love persist and thrive. So let us love this broken world. We don't need to fix it. We just need to love it the way it is. Over time, everything that's shattered and painful will become beloved, a part of our shared wholeness, the flaws that are at the heart of all that's beautiful. Sometimes alchemy doesn't mean turning lead into gold. Sometimes alchemy means learning to appreciate the beauty and the possibilities of lead. We already have everything we need. If we but love and nurture what is, it will in time become the better future we need. The future is good because life is good, because people are good, because existence is good, because every atom and every wave of all of creation is sacred and complete. To believe that the future is good is how we let love be our guide.